And now, live from the Neverland Theatre, your host, Gary Starr.
Stage 2, screen.
Hello, and welcome to StageToStream.tv, live from the Neverland Theatre here in Skegness. How are we all doing tonight? I hope you're well, wherever you are out there in the ether, in the world, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, a very good evening. Welcome one and all. We had a great live stream last night, our first show. We're back tonight. We're looking forward to some wonderful guests this evening, live here on Stage to Stream. But right now, let's find out who we've got on the show tonight, because I'm very excited this evening. We've got some cracking guests. Live tonight on Stage to Stream, sensational actor Nathan Masterson, singer-songwriter Serena Drake, and magic and illusionist Chris Moore. All live tonight here on
Stage 2, screen.
Yes, indeed. Some wonderful guests joining us this evening, kicking off very shortly indeed with Nathan Masterson live on Stage to Stream. But before all that, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we need to get social right now, yes. So it's time to start sharing and doing all that thing. And I think there's no better person to talk to this evening about all these things than, of course, my cohort in arms. Is that the word? I don't know. We're going to find out very shortly indeed. But let's go meet her right now with her own jingle. It is Right Hand Ruthie.
Right hand Ruthie, right hand Ruthie.
Right hand, Ruthie.
Yes, Right Hand Ruthie. There you are. How are you this evening?
Hello, I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Yes, we're raring to go this evening. So what have you been up to today? Anything exciting?
Today, no,
No, nothing at all.
nothing.
But you've been preparing for this, of course,
Of
which
course,
is
yes.
very exciting. And you've been preparing all our guests this evening and ones for the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very exciting. So let's talk, because we've now created you into Social Media Corner, which is, you've got your own thing now. Yeah, it actually says Social Media Corner, and where they can text and WhatsApp in and do all that sort of thing. So why don't you tell people what we want them to do this evening to get social and be part of this evening?
That's right. Okay, so this evening we want you, wherever you are in the world, which I know we've got lots of people all over the place. First of all, we want to find out where you are. So pop in the comments and drop in your location. It might be sunny Skegness, you might be further afield. I know we had some in Abu Dhabi last night, which was nice. So all over the world, wherever you are, then let us know. Pop your location in our comments. We would like to see just who we're talking to tonight and who is out there listening to us. And also, we want to actually make sure that we direct you to the right place as well. So if you do happen to be watching on YouTube or any of those other places, if you've got access to Facebook, we want to push you over to our StageToStream.tv page and watch it live from there. That way we can keep you all in one place, and I can keep an eye on the comments a lot more easily, because we've got 3 or 4 different streams going on at the minute, and there's a lot of computer screens in front of me. So hop on over to StageToStream.tv on Facebook if you can, and then watch it through there, and then we can keep an eye on all the comments and keep everything in there. Now tonight, if you do have any questions or is there anything you want to know from any of our guests, or indeed from your hosts Gary and myself, then pop your questions in as well. We like to get a little bit chatty tonight. So yeah, we're getting excited and getting ready for our good show tonight. Fabulous response from you all last night as well, which was good. So we're going to have another great one for you this evening.
Yes, thank you. It's good to have you as my co-host. So listen, there's things that we need to talk about this evening. Of course, ways they can get in touch. As we did say, jump on the StageToStream.tv Facebook page, because then you can kind of chat directly. We will keep an eye on the others, because we're obviously broadcasting live on my Facebook, on Gary Starr Pantomime's page, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on this one as well. But if you want to speak directly to Ruthie over there, then the way to do it directly and quickly is to jump on stagethestream.tv, and that way you can talk to her directly in Social Media Corner. Now also we've got WhatsApp, our business WhatsApp, or you can text in as well. I know we're
Business WhatsApp.
I know we're cutting edge tonight. If you want to do that this evening, the number is 07510 891 005.
Oh.
And we'll look out for them.
Not
Good,
happy
right?
with that. Can you do it more jingly?
I can put a bit of let me put a bit of reverb
Yeah,
on.
do the number again.
07510 891 005. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably we should now point out that we do have a professional musician providing our jingles. It's not Gary.
We do, and that's the reason why. James
the reason
Harrison
why.
is out there. He's probably watching tonight, but he's going to be on the show next week. He did all of our jingles, which I think you'll admit do become a bit of an earworm. They do. Yes,
That's true.
leech on. So you're looking very well this evening, Ruth. I see you've put a bit of makeup on this evening, made an effort after last night. When you watched it back, you said, "Why didn't you tell me I had moon face?"
Moon face, yeah.
Moon face,
Big
which
moon
you haven't
face.
tonight.
Well, I mean, it's still quite moony, but I've put a bit more. But a bit more. All right. Anybody that knows me knows I am quite possibly the palest person in the universe. The sun reflects off me. I blend in with backgrounds and things. I don't have much colour to me. So I've used some of your bronzer tonight, Gary.
My bronzer.
Your bronzer.
Right. Okay. That
Yep.
would explain anything because mine is pirate bronzer. But you can't. It does look good. So that's the main
Bit less
thing.
moony. Yeah.
You're very much less moony.
Although saying that, we've already got some people coming in on the chat, giving us our locations. So hi to Darren Kirk, listening North Yorkshire, North Allerton.
Nice.
Ooh.
Can we have a competition to see how far in the world we can get?
Oh, well, I'm going to stop you there, Gary,
Go on.
because the only other person
Okay.
is Miss Victoria Jane Smalley. Hi, Vicky.
Aw.
And she's saying, hola from Dubai.
Well, that's good, but we could get further.
Well, I was just putting on the fact that she's put a black heart, which is nice, but then a big moon face. But that appeared before we started talking about moon face.
When you are the moon.
Thanks.
No, that's
Vicky.
good.
It's
It's nice to see it. I hope you're well, Vicky, out there in Dubai. If there are people further afield, we want to hear from you, don't we, Ruth?
Yeah, if you're on the moon, I mean, come on in. Let us know. Let us know where you're from.
Yeah. What we do need everyone to do as well is if you're on Facebook right now, why don't you just click the like button because it helps us with our algorithms apparently.
Ooh,
if
big
you
word.
click like, I know, right? Like or indeed a love heart if you're really enjoying the show. And if you want to share this stream as well, please do so because we want to get out there and get out into the world and see more people and talk to more people because that's what it's about this evening. Yeah. Now also, Ruthie, we should point out that we've got a follower, Darren Kirk. Hello, new like there.
Hello,
Welcome,
Darren. That's because we mentioned his name. Look,
There you go. See.
North Yorkshire.
Yeah, jumping on the like bandwagon, as it were. If you're out there, whatever you're doing, make sure you like it, make sure you love the page, and indeed click follow, and then you'll know whenever we go live. Now, I was going to say, Ruth, that we did get some comments last night that our banter, because obviously you're in banter corner.
Good banter.
We need some good banter. So I was thinking, why don't you tell us something interesting about yourself?
Something
Right now.
interesting.
And I can banter off it.
Right. Okay. I've got a cracker of an in.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
right.
it good?
I think it is. So I had recently. I was working elsewhere. I like to go off and do different contracts all over the place, but I always come back. Don't worry. Now listen, the last one that I did, they had this thing where they always wanted the entertainment's sort of staff to give us one interesting fact about yourself, and I was used to panic a little bit. I'm like, oh, not very interesting. I honestly thought this was a thing, and it wasn't until it was only about a couple of months ago I realised that it's not a thing for me. Now let me explain. So my interesting thing was that I'm related to William Wallace. So those of you that's seen the film Braveheart, the guy that paints his face blue, freedom, him. Now, I used to tell this story and everyone was like, wow, you're related to it? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Turns out that I might not be. So the thing is, my mum Hi, Mum, if you're watching. She was going back into like our family history, family tree, all that kind of stuff. And I could have sworn that I'd had a conversation with her where she said, "Oh, I've traced it back and you're related to William Wallace." Now, I just took that and went, "Oh, I'm related to William Wallace." Turns out that was a dream and we never actually had that conversation. So I'm not related to William Wallace.
It's a good story, Ruth, and top banter. I wonder if anybody out there is related to William Wallace, who actually has some form of Scottish in them. So, do you have any Scottish in you at all?
No, Irish, bit of Spanish, I think, something about that. I don't know.
Spanish?
Yeah, well, I mean, like a tiny percentage.
Right.
Very small.
Okay. Well, that's a top story and some great banter there, Ruth. We'll come back to that and maybe work on something else.
That was good banter.
Good banter.
Yeah.
If you thought that was good banter, please put in the chat #good banter, and we can see how good that banter is this evening. Now, I can tell you that in just a few moments' time, once again, I do apologise for not looking directly at you all the time, because I am kind of working everything here, the Starship Enterprise, as it is at the moment. So I do apologise for that, but we do have coming up very shortly indeed a fabulous actor by the name of Nathan Masterson. He's going to be joining me in just a few moments' time. Thank you, Ruthie, for your banter this evening. That was top banter. We'll come back to you in a little while. If you've got any questions for our guests this evening, then all you've got to do is message Ruthie on any of those ways that we mentioned. I'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks, Ruth.
You're welcome.
And a good story too.
Thank you.
What a funny story.
Funny story.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, it's almost time for our first guest this evening on StageToStream.tv here at the Neverland Theatre, streaming live each evening this week, and of course next week as well if you're back. One thing we do need to mention as well is we're looking for more guests as well. So if you want to be on the show, if you've got anything to do with entertainment in whatever form whatsoever, we want to talk to you. If you're interested, then get your messages sent to Ruth and she will book you on and we can talk more. Right now, though, we're going to zoom over to our first guest this evening. Just very quickly, though, we're going to have a quick look at some of his acting, his show reel and some of his acting abilities, and then we're going to have a chat with the fabulous Nathan Masterson right after this.
What do you know of evil? Of sin?
What do I know of sin? Of evil? I saw my brothers slaughtered, crippled at the hands of evil. I saw the embodiment of sin in our fellow man. I saw those heathens pour the blood of saints around the altar and trample the bodies of our people in the house of God. My God is with me, I assure you. But he is not there. Not now.
The police! Open the door! Open the door!
Police! Drop your weapon!
Can't you see that I'm not as I was before? Love, please believe it. I'm Jesse Robert Shore.
Oh, that was dramatic. Yes, very nice indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Stage to Stream the fabulous Nathan Masterson. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you this evening?
Hello. I'm good, thank you very much. Enjoyed your moves during the show reel there as well. A bit of dancing shoulders going on. Very nice.
Yes, I mean nobody sees that of what I'm actually doing while we're showing your show reel. But yeah, I was getting into it. I was having a bit of a dance and and enjoying the drama of you getting your legs run over and shooting people in the face. It was good. Yeah. How are you, my friend?
I'm very, very good. It's been a wild year, hasn't it?
It's been the craziest of years, as I think we'll probably discuss many times, many times.
Definitely, yeah.
So let's talk about you. Let's introduce you to the people out there that don't know you. Of course, I've worked with you many times, but there'll be people out there that don't know you. Tell us a bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, so I'm originally from Manchester, now living in the beautiful ocean city of Plymouth, and I've been an actor for nearly 20 years now, and it's all I've ever wanted to do. From primary school, doing my very first show, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I'm that nerdy about it. I can remember my first ever line on stage,
Which was
the employment. Which was the employment office is at the rear, which is quite useful for an actor to hear through the periods of unemployment we have. And yeah, that's all I ever wanted to do, single-minded. And I was blessed with parents who just let him get on and do it. So from there, drama GCSE, theatre studies A-level, performing arts degree, and then straight into a 6-month tour of Alice in Wonderland and Aladdin, and then unemployment. So I've had the highs and the lows of it. But over the past few years, I've been lucky enough to work with wonderful people such as yourself, a company called 1623 who do Shakespeare in all sorts of weird and wonderful places, street theatre as well at Butlins. I've been lucky enough to work fairly consistently over the past 10 years or so, which is something that I don't take for granted, because it's a unique situation to be in as an actor. 90% of it is unemployment. And I think just arriving to places on time, knowing your stuff is half the battle, and that gets you re-employed by people, and you can carry on like that.
Absolutely. So you've done many things, and we saw a few things on your show reel there. Tell us about. Let's talk about first of all the guy getting run over. What was that? Tell us about that.
Okay, so that was one of the first things I did on camera. That was for the Police Bravery Awards.
Really?
About 10 years. Yeah, for 10 years ago. And the guy I was playing, I probably shouldn't name him, but he was awarded for his bravery in that sting operation of getting the this bunch of armed robbers who turned over several post offices. And he'd won an award because he had his foot run over in the apprehending of these criminals. And a little quick anecdote about that. When I arrived, they weren't sure how they were going to do the running over of the foot. They had a few ideas. One idea they had was, when I went into wardrobe, they were carving a yam into the shape of a foot.
Nice. And
doing tests to see if that would look realistic with something going over it. It didn't. So they just used clever cutaways. And one of the actors, sorry, who was playing another policeman, was a tutor from my university.
Oh, amazing.
So yeah, we're at the same level now. That's good to know. That's
yeah.
cool.
Don't use yams is the thing we learned from this.
Don't use yams for feet. It's a bit too squishy. There's no bone structure in there. Don't do that.
That needs to become a saying.
No bone structure in there.
Also, I know you're very much into Shakespeare and that side of it.
Yes.
Have you done quite a lot of Shakespeare?
I've done, probably my career is made up of children's theatre and Shakespeare for the majority of it.
It's the same thing, isn't it, pretty much?
Exactly. There's not a lot of difference between that and Panto and Shakespeare. They all have a through line. Yeah, I've worked for loads of different companies. The main one I work for is a fantastic company called 1623, based in Derby, not so far from where you are, not too far. Well, not far where you're from anyway. And like I said, they do Shakespeare in what you'd call non-traditional spaces. So with them, I've worked at Glastonbury, the festival. But the only person to see Jay-Z and Shakin' Stevens in one day on the Pyramid stage.
It works.
We've done stuff for the Women's Institute and stuff online for various different organisations, and it's about breaking down Shakespeare and getting your hands dirty with it and getting in and showing it's not something to be afraid of. I think a lot of people have a bad experience, particularly at school, with it being taught and it being drab. But it's a play. They're plays. They're not meant to be just read on a page. They're meant to come alive.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people's experiences at school with just reading stuff on a page puts them off it.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
the ethos-
it does scare me, but that's purely because I'm terrible, as you well know, at learning lines. I'm good at making stuff up, but yeah, that
I
would
don't think you've ever learned a line in your life.
No.
Whenever I've worked with you, the script is more of a philosophy than an actual script.
I mean, I could, I could make up Shakespeare, but yeah, that doesn't
Easily.
work, does it? Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
with Shakespeare and that side of it, obviously you've played many characters. Who would you say is your favourite to play out of everything you've done or want to do?
Out of everything I've done, or Shakespeare in particular.
Yeah, Shakespeare. Let's stick with that for the moment. What's your favourite
Okay.
Shakespearean character to play?
Well, I'm currently, as you know, from my body shape, in training for Falstaff, and I have been for quite some time. So I think that's one of the ultimate goals. But honestly, it's a kind of low-hanging fruit, but bottom for Midsummer Night's Dream, because it's just, an idiot being an actor, which is, again, something I've been training for quite a while now.
Yeah, haven't we all?
So that's something I'd love to do.
Love it. Okay, so let's move on to the elephant in the room that is here all the time of the pandemic, because this is where this has all come from, of pushing this stuff and chatting about this as well, and so what have you been doing throughout the pandemic, and how's it affected you?
Well, let's take you back to March last year when it was all kind of kicking off. I was working at sea. I was an entertainment manager for P&O, because as well as doing acting stuff, I just put me on stage with a microphone. I'm a big loud idiot, basically, and that's why they hired me. So I'm an entertainment manager, and this whole virus thing was just background radiation. We'd heard about it on the news, but nothing to worry about. Then our passenger numbers dip and dip and dip and dip till we're in a bar that holds 300 with about 5 people in. And it's only a matter of time before they take us off, because there's no point having Ents on. I come home maybe a week before the first ever lockdown was announced, and I didn't really work again until Christmas, which is unusual for me because there's always usually summer stuff going on, spring. I managed to get some work at Christmas, which then ended up with me contracting the virus that should not be named. And so Christmas was a little rough, but you know what? Although we've had COVID here and work's gone, we are well aware that we're in a better position than most. When we got the virus, we weren't too ill with it. We are okay, touch wood, financially as it goes. And so we've just been keeping on. We homeschool our children already. They're home educated, so there wasn't that much of a shift for them to get used to. I say them, my son's only 3 years old. We're not chucking books at him as yet. But for my daughter, she turned 7 last year. It's just the same thing, only mummy and daddy are about a bit more. So it's great for her. And I've just been keeping my head down, doing a bit of writing, but also not trying to get too hung up about making stuff, because I think as creatives, we have this urge to do something. And in your peripheral vision, you've always got other people like yourself. You and Ruth, I think, survive on caffeine and 2 hours sleep a night. I've never known a pair of people in the industry just, okay, our panto's gone. Let's do a streaming service. Let's do car park pantos. And for other people in the industry who aren't maybe quite as dynamic as you, no names being mentioned, it's difficult because you feel the need to try and keep up and try and keep pace with people. But you've got to sit back and realize this is, and you've heard this phrase, everyone out there, I'm sorry, a million times, unprecedented times.
Yeah.
So the need to get out there and do stuff is great, but you also need to look after yourself, because Lord knows it's going to for a year. Hopefully by the end of the year it'll be done, but you don't want to burn yourself out with anxiety or worry about having to do something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the pressure is definitely, was out there in the fact of, how you deal with this and that side of it. Obviously, for you, the benefit is that you've managed to spend more time with your family, which money can't buy. And I think that's something that a lot of people should take is that you know, when you look for those positives in things, you know, it's not about
Yeah.
necessarily doing as we've done. That was just our own direction, but we had to do that because we wouldn't be here if
Yeah.
we didn't. But the positives for your side of it is that, like you say, for most of the year you're away on contracts and doing all that side of it, and so to suddenly have that time with your family and do that, and then, you know, to know that we are going back, you know, and we are going to do more stuff. But I think that's definitely something to take away from it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I have missed both my children's first steps with being away, and it's a trade-off I take, and I know I'm taking it when I'm doing it. But you are aware when you're at home, oh, my son's talking's really coming on. I'd have missed that if it had been away.
Yeah.
And I think, as good as it sounds, if you take the positives away from it, you're able to come out of it a lot healthier and reinvigorated for when the world does reopen.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that's what it's about, you know. And everybody's story is completely different. You know what I mean? So for you, that's amazing, because I'm well aware of, you know, when I take you on for contracts and stuff, and we'll have them conversations. You know that, you know, you are missing out on things. You know, I go, can you come away? And you go, oh, it's my daughter's birthday or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that's the same for everybody. You have that trade-off all the time. So I think, you know, the positive of this year is most definitely that you've had that side of it, and of course,
absolutely,
you know, looking to the future, it's certainly gonna I think entertainment's going to come back and with an absolute gusto, you know, of people wanting to be entertained and wanting to get out there and do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah, everyone I know and everyone I speak to is itching to get back into a theatre and see something. So the opportunities, hopefully, for people when it opens. I'm writing a couple of things myself. It's a benefit of this has been for an eternal procrastinator like me. It's forced me to get down and write something because I have nothing else to kind of really distract me. So I've worked on a couple of one-man shows, and when things reopen, hopefully get them out there and push myself a little bit.
Yeah, and that's amazing. I mean, that's the side of creativity, like you say, that a lot of the time we don't have time to do. You know, like yourself, you're constantly out working and going all over the place, and you miss out on stuff. And there are things that you want to do. So it's great that at this point you can kind of take that time to go, actually, I want to write this. I have the time to write it.
Yeah.
And you know, and incorporate that into your creativity, which is great. You know? I truly believe that, you know, everything when it comes back, it's going to be better than ever. And I think we've all, you know, sort of, we'll all appreciate everything a lot more now as well when it comes back. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I can. I can just see work we've done together at places like Yorkshire Wildlife Park when we've, you know, had tens of thousands of people coming out. I just have in mind that first time getting out there when we were allowed to, and just rows and rows of people just aching and wanting something to happen in front of them, and that's kind of keeping us going throughout.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so with yourself, what do you think? Where do you want to go next? What's sort of next for you in the pipeline? Are you looking ahead at the moment, or are you just still enjoying the time with your family, or do you have projects upcoming?
Yeah, as we're coming to kind of hopefully the beginning of the end, as it were. I'm looking to get these couple of shows out there to libraries and stand-up clubs and venues. One of them's a children's show, which is Billy Bones' Treasure Chest of Tales, where my character, his job on the ship is to write stories for the captain so he can go to sleep and read him stories, but he's run out of stories to tell. So he's going to go around to libraries, schools, arts venues with his treasure chest of junk, and with the audience incorporate these junk into making new stories. So each show is going to be completely different, because hopefully the reaction from the audience will be different. So say I pull out a box or a bat, I'm looking at what's on my desk here, or a badge, things that don't begin with B as well. And we can get the audience to say what these items might be in a different context, how they can be used in the story, and create a new story together. Which is something I've wanted to do for ages, but I've actually had the time now to sit down and write the scripted bits and plan out the bits where I can get the audience involved. And when this all reopens, I've got a couple of contacts with libraries in the Southwest to take this out to. So I'm kind of like just waiting for it to all open out.
Yeah.
So that's the main focus on there. And as for a plan, I've never had a plan in 20 years. I think this is the most structured I've been in getting this show out. Otherwise, I just tend to bumble along and find different and interesting people to work with who then, for some reason, probably because I'm cheap, just keep employing me.
Oh no, I mean, I love working with you because I mean, for me, you're one of those people that has a natural humor on stage and can deal with any situation, which is good for us, you know, of what we do. You know, but you can deal with that side of it, and you have that banter, you know, the banter that me and Ruth have clearly got.
Yeah,
you know?
Obviously, yeah, I mean, just classic Moonface banter. It's beautiful to see. And yeah, handling any kind of situation, like being told with 30 seconds notice that you're going to go and do a show you've not done a part before in a shopping centre, for example, Gary.
It's what it's about, you know. It's the way it needs to be, you know. It's adaptability and just but as always with this job that we do, it's about having fun, and I think that's the most important thing, you know. I've worked for companies in the past that have kind of lost that, and you know, and everything's so serious, and you know, and I kind of, you know, I like the fact that sometimes it is hairy, and you know, and with the stuff we've done in the past, you know, the past year, you know, it's been crazy, you know, the times we look at it and go, what are we doing? But we do what we always do with the people around us that always do it, and you're one of those people that just comes in and does it, and you know, and enjoys it and has fun with it. So that's, you know, that's a definitely a positive from it all. It's
I mean, fun's the most important thing. The most fun I've had on stage, honestly, is Christmas Before Last with last night's guest, Jonathan.
Oh, Johnny was here last night. Yes, bless him.
Yeah. That's Hook and Smee, just a pair of old hams, just camping it up on stage in front of audience. I'm just lapping it up, and honestly, it's the most fun I've had on a stage. It's good, and hopefully it'll continue again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're sadly, as you know, we couldn't go to the Astor this year. It's a wonderful, wonderful little theatre down in Deal.
But again, with that, it's your kind of adapt and survive scenario. When you found out you couldn't do Cinderella, which we were going to do together, instantly you went, okay, right, let's put in a smaller show. Let's do something else. And there's always clutching at straws in a good way until you physically cannot do it.
Yeah,
with
and,
you and Ruth, there's always a solution.
Yeah, the same with that, you know. Sadly as well, they were the same as us in Skegness. You know, we had Peter Pan going on. We'd secured a wonderful venue here in Skegness, Richmond, which is a holiday park, but it has a massive auditorium. It's a beautiful auditorium. It's probably one of the biggest in the area. It's bigger than any of the theatres in the area. And you know, we were able to seat in there 350 people on socially distanced tables. It was all going ahead. We've been in tier 1 the whole of last year in Skegness, so it was all happening. And literally, we went into the lockdown at the end of November, and then we came out of lockdown in tier 4. And that was purely because the nearest hospital, Boston and Lincoln, were obviously getting overrun, and we came into that remit. So suddenly we were like, oh, it's cancelled. And it was the same for the theatre in Deal. Sadly, you know, they're right on the coast down there, but they were in the same thing, you know, and suddenly everything was cancelled. So for them, we gave them one of our online shows to sell out, and you know, to try and keep them going, and you know, and help them along, because it's just crazy, you know. It was just such a hit for everybody.
Yeah, and at these times more than anything else, collaboration is so necessary. I know you've been out offering your green screen facilities and offering the online shows to try and keep hands together and keep people going, which is what's needed. The arts industry can be a bit fragmented at times and a little bit, no, this is our thing, we need that. And we need more people who can say, well, no, we've got this, you need it, we can share. And then later on down the line, it can be reciprocated. And in this time more than anything else, I think that's what we need, a bit of help and a bit of understanding.
And we've certainly started to see that as well, of people now doing that, because like you say, it was unprecedented before, of going, well, you know, you can do this, and you know, generally when I offered a set of Aladdin costumes out this year, and it's almost like, what's the catch? No, you can have them. let's help each other, because then you've got a chance of surviving this year as a company, and so have we, and blah blah blah. But then you almost feel that straight away it's like, no, there's got to be a catch. Why would you do that? But it's starting to happen now, and again, with all this now of making people talk, and we've done it today, we did it yesterday, we're going to continue doing it, of getting people to talk and sort of have that conversation of, why can't we work together? Why can't we all, make things work? It's a beautiful dream, I know, but for those that are part of it, then great, we'll all benefit from it. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to go to right now, because she sat there and I can see her waving at me from Studio 2. So, and I've worked this tonight. We can cut to you, Ruth, as well. Which is nice. So we're going to go over to Ruth, because we're going to ask her what we, which is very exciting. However, as we did that, the entire thing's frozen. But don't panic, it'll come in. Bear with us. There we are. Hello, Ruthie.
Do you need us to vamp? Hello, Ruth.
It was kind of, it was building up. To it was doing. Oh, it's all gone wrong. No, there she is in Social Media Corner. She's there. What did you say?
Couldn't cope with my big moon face.
I think that's what's causing the trouble here. Yeah. I think the cameras and everything are going, no, it's too bright.
It's too much.
So, Social Media Corner.
Hello,
how are you? We're going to see if we've got any questions
We've got
for
loads
Nathan.
of questions.
Have we? Wonderful.
Yes,
Let's go.
First of all, we've got Johnny Booth watching, who was our guest last
Johnny!
night. Miss Midler.
Hello,
Hi,
Johnny.
And he has said, Nathan, that shirt is louder than me, meaning him.
One sec. I pressed the wrong one. I got the jingle in there.
Oh, no.
Nice. And that's fine. We're back now.
Yeah. The plan with the shirt was that hopefully through the magic of technology it would reflect back to Ruth and put a bit of colour into her face.
Thank you very much.
No, well, it's good.
I like a loud shirt. It's good. Tommy J had one on last night when he popped in to say hello. I was going to mention it, but I wasn't on at that time, so I just got to sit quietly in Studio 2. But also, back to Johnny Booth with his bright shirt. Can't remember his audition piece at all, but I can tell you that he had a fabulous shirt on. It was like bright blue, it was very 80s, it was great. Anyway, that's a different story. It's another interesting story.
What an interesting story. Now, I could do a jingle for that, Ruth.
Can you?
What an interesting story.
Want to get done for plagiarism.
I was about to say you need to get James to do an interesting story jingle for Ruth, because
It's
he's a
happening.
classic.
I've got a list of jingles that I need for every time Ruth says something, so that's good. So go on, Ruth. Well,
Anyway.
give us a question.
Oh,
Fire
yes.
some
Let's actually get on to what I'm supposed to be doing. Beverly, we've got Beverly watching from Birmingham. Hi, Beverly. She wants to know, Nathan, what is your favourite character to play?
Ooh, what an interesting question.
Of all
genuinely
time.
Interesting question.
Yeah.
First of all, thanks, Beverly. Thanks for the question. Didn't think I'd get anything. Probably the Mad Hatter. And I'll tell you for why. It's a character I've played the most through all the different companies I've worked for. If anyone's doing Alice in Wonderland, I always get cast as the Hatter. And I just love the kind of freedom to be a bit mischievous and a bit silly and a bit different from how I am, because I'm, as Gary and Ruth will know, I'm very quiet, quite reserved, but I love the chance of being on stage and being an absolute idiot and causing mayhem for everybody. So whenever I'm offered the chance to play the Hatter, I just grab it with both hands. It's amazing. But thank you for the question.
Back to Ruth in Social Media Corner. Hello.
Back into my corner. Tommy J. Hi, Tommy J. He's popped in. He would like to know, I don't know if this goes hand in hand with the Mad Hatter or not. You might throw us a curveball and give us a different answer, but he wants to know your all-time favourite panto.
Also, just can I interject here as well? Can I just point out that Tommy J did say "Hello Moon" prior to that, which you didn't, you kind of didn't mention.
I was going to come back to it later, but
that's fine.
You've ruined it.
Okay.
Aaron, favourite pantos?
Yes. Okay, so Tommy, first of all, smashed it today. Well done on your 20k unicycle ride. Congratulations. Massive achievement. Favourite panto is Peter Pan. I think it has, for me, a fantastic blend of a solid, proper theatrical story in it, but then all the panto elements you know and love, all the gags, all the silliness, all woven together to make a proper theatrical experience. When we did it at the Astor, Christmas before last, it was one of the most magical things I've been involved with. You'd have oohs and ahs from the audience when Nana comes on, roars of laughter from the silliness, and people properly getting involved with the story. So I think Peter Pan, particularly, not to butter you up too much, Gary, but your version of Peter Pan it's just fantastic. Love doing it. We'll do it again in a drop of a hat.
Yeah, it was incredibly magical, that show. I really really enjoyed that. So I'd agree with that. That's definitely my favourite. Ruthie, back to you.
Back to me. Okay, I've only got one more question.
Ooh.
And
That's
this one,
fine. I didn't expect this many. It's good.
I got loads. Well, this one has actually come from Tony Christie. Don't turn.
Not the Tony, no.
Not the Tony. It's Tony with an I. So
Okay.
It's a lady Tony we've got, and she wants to know, what is your dream job? If you could have any job in the world, I'm assuming we're going with the acting industry. Like, what would be your dream job to have or role to play?
Oh wow. Okay. Well, we talked about playing Bottom earlier in terms of Shakespeare. I've honestly not really thought about that. I think just being in a job is, for an actor, just great anyway, because work can be quite rare. I think. Do you know what? I think The Wizard in The Wizard of Oz. I love the kind of big reveal at the end, and there's so much heart in it. You can go from being mischievous rogue, leading the friends along their merry dance, and at the end becoming almost like a father figure. That just kind of popped into my head. So I think, and I know Gary's doing a tour of Wizard of Oz at some point. This isn't a pitch. This isn't a pitch. It's just came to me.
This
You're
a pitch?
sliding
Good
in
job.
sideways there. Very good.
I see what you did there. It's very good and admirable in itself.
But it
yes.
worked, because as soon as you said the wizard, Gary's eyebrows went, Let's make a note of that.
We
It's
know
either that
what
or the
we're
coffee.
doing. We know what we're doing. It's all good.
Yeah.
Any more questions, Ruthie?
No,
over there?
that's all we've got over here. A lot of the other questions we've kind of already answered as we've gone along. But yeah, so I think there's some good ones there. So dream job, we've had favourite character and your favourite panto.
Well, it's been lovely chatting to you, Ruth, in Social Media Corner. Don't forget, if you've got questions for our next guest this evening, you can send Ruthie a message either on Facebook. You can do the WhatsApp or text, and we'll be back with you very shortly, in fact.
Or just before you do cut me off, though,
go on.
do make sure that you do pop on over to Stage to Stream TV on Facebook to watch it on there. I know there's a few other people. We've got a very big chat going on your very own personal page, Gary.
Well, there always is.
There always is. We want to shoehorn you all over to StageToStream.tv. Keeps us.
Is it something I need to be looking at?
No, not at all.
Are they talking
got a
about
bit
how
of-
magnificent my beard is or anything like that?
No one ever talks about
Because Nathan used to have a fabulous beard, didn't you? But
I did.
unfortunately, you had to shave it off.
gone.
Shave it off. Some horrible person made me shave it off, and it wasn't you.
It
this
wasn't
time.
me. You see, in fairness, when we originally spoke about you doing Ugly Sister, I said to you the only downfall will be, and I'll never ask anybody to do this because I would point blank say no, is that you would obviously have to have no beard, and that would be something we had to talk about. But you know, I didn't have to make you do that, so I didn't feel guilty, which is a good thing. Do you know what I mean? So,
But hopefully this Christmas we'll have that discussion again, and maybe add a couple of figures to the contract as well.
yes, absolutely.
Danger money.
I think you know, it's all going to come back, and with a certain amount of gusto, the whole thing. So I think watch this space. We're going to be there.
Absolutely.
I can see. Oh, you're on my page, Ruth. You're looking after that, so that's good.
I'm on both. I am.
Wonderful. She's on track with it, so that's wonderful. Okay, well, it has been an absolute pleasure this evening chatting to you. Yes.
You too, sir.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. What's your plans for the evening? Anything exciting?
Putting the kids to bed and then settling down to watch an MCU film with the missus.
Nice. That's good. Happy days.
Nice and homely.
Thank you very much for joining us. We will speak soon. And ladies and gentlemen, give it up, Nathan Masterson. Thank you very much, my friend.
Cheers, guys.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good evening. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to Stage to Stream TV, live from the Neverland Theatre here in Skegness. And I can tell you, it's been very exciting today because I've had a wonderful guy in today called Ian, who's been painting, obviously, on his own in the auditorium. It's been fantastic. And we have finally finished the auditorium. It's got the new rake seating in, and it's now completely a black box as well. So I'm very excited about that. We'll probably give you a little show of that as well at some point, so you can see what it looks like. But over the past 5 years, we've kind of built it to where it needs to be, and we've been working on it throughout the year, just a bit at a time, where we can safely. I genuinely think now it's at the place it should be, a beautiful little theatre. Looking forward to when we can reopen, which it might be the end of the year for us, it might be next year for us, but in the meantime we'll carry on doing everything else, and we look forward to the day that we can bring it all back. Very exciting indeed. What we're going to do is we're going to shoot over now to Social Media Corner. We're going to have a chat to the wonderful Ruthie. I'm going to play your jingle in a minute, Ruthie, because it's such a good jingle, and everybody loves it. Everybody keeps saying that they love it. And then after that, in around about 5 minutes time, we've got the lovely Serena Grant joining us live on Stage to Stream. But right now, let's go to Social Media Corner for Right Hand Ruthie.
Right hand Ruthie, right hand Ruthie.
Right hand Ruthie.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello again.
Are you all right?
I'm good. How are you doing over there?
Yeah, very good. Yeah. It was very nice. We had a lovely chat with Nathan, and we've got our next guest coming up very shortly indeed. A lovely girl by Serena Grant, who's going to be joining us. And yes, and then a little bit later on, a bit of magic and illusion.
Ooh, exciting.
Chatting to the fabulous Chris North. How's it going in Social Media Corner?
Yeah, we're doing good. We've got some more shout outs. We've got Western Supermare we're being watched in.
It's not quite Abu Dhabi, is it?
It's not quite, but it's pretty far away. Yeah, over the other side, isn't it? So hi Damien, how are you doing? So we've got Birmingham as well. We've got lots in Yorkshire watching. We're down in Portsmouth. We're all over the place. But yeah, see if we can get further away than Abu Dhabi. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I've got friends all over the world.
Well, have you?
Well, I have.
Okay.
So I've got friends in...
yes.
I've got a friend in Australia.
Oh, you've got a friend in Down Under.
Yes, my good friend Patrick Harvey. We must chat to him at some point. I miss him. He's a wonderful man. He played Smee a long time ago with me. So we've got to talk to him at some point. But anyway, I digress a little bit.
Yes, indeed.
Because I'm going to come back to you and so what have you got to tell us, Ruth?
Well, so we've obviously had Nathan on earlier, and Nathan is obviously a superstar actor. We've got Serena Grant coming up. She's singer-songwriter, and of course later on we've got the fabulous Mr. Chris North, Magic and Illusion. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, but we want to hear from more of you. So any of you out there in the industry that want to come on and have a little chat, it can be absolutely anything. So it can be acting, singing, it can be dancing, choreography, it could be directing, you could even be a poet or an author, you could be involved in stunt work, or even more of the backstage, so the set, the scenery, props, makeup, prosthetics, anything like that, absolutely anything at all. If you've got a passion for it, you're involved in it, or even if you want to get involved in it, then drop us a line and we'd love to have you on the show. We like to hear about different walks of life in the industry. It paints a nice picture, and sometimes if you close your eyes, you can feel like you're back on stage and you're back in the theatre.
Well, you technically are.
You
know who we need to get on here?
Who?
That wonderful makeup artist.
Ooh, who could that be? It's of course the one and only Emily Smith. She's fabulous. She does all of our makeup. She's a lovely young lady. She's very up and coming in the business, and she's currently moving into doing a university degree in it as well. So she's got a teaching done, so she can teach it all as well. But she's fabulous. She's been all over the world traveling, representing the UK in competitions left, right, and centre. So yes, we must have Emily on the show.
Yes, I completely agree. I think that'd be wonderful. Maybe we can get her to come on if she's watching now, which she should be. But Emily, if you're out there watching, what we should do is get you on and maybe give you like a 30-minute challenge as well. So you can use a member of your family. like your dad, you know, and we can do a 30-minute makeup challenge while we're chatting to you about all the things that you're doing, because I think that would be really exciting and something we should do. So we'll do that. Yeah, Ruth's right. We need more people to come and join us on the show. We need to talk to more people. 3 guests a night is the most we're going to have. Some nights it'll be 2, some nights it'll be 3, but that's where we want to be. So if you're out there and you're in the business and you want to be part of this, come and talk to us. Ruth, let's have another interesting story from you about you, because people, you know, and I can see on the chat, you know, people want to know more about you.
Oh, that's nice. Do they though? Do they? No.
Just filling time, but go on.
You want to know more about me?
Give me an interesting story about Ruth.
All right, okay, here's an interesting story. I don't like hot drinks. I used to when I was younger. When I was younger, I used to like tea, apparently, but now I don't like it.
What an interesting story.
You're welcome.
What an interesting story. Oh.
So, Gary, tell us an interesting story about you.
An interesting story about me. I don't really have any interesting stories.
Clean ones.
That's it then. That's
well, I'm going
done.
to take you back to it was something that Nathan actually brought up about you learning lines. So for those of you that don't necessarily know Gary in his performing capacity, Gary is a nightmare at learning scripts, even his own that he's written. He can't retain the information. So if you're ever on stage with Gary and he gives you the look, it means something's missing and something's gone. So.
I did a few years ago. I worked for Jamie Marcus, a wonderful panto producer, and got a chance to perform as Hook. And I was still on script in the dress rehearsal. And luckily, you know, they said to me, "It's fine. We know you'll be fine on the night." Jules was a wonderful, caring director who said, "It's fine. I know you'll be off book." But if that was me, I would be horrified. I would have sacked myself. But luckily, we were so close to opening. You know, it was kind of that or nothing.
Wasn't there a time when you actually sellotaped your lyrics to the back of a small child who was in the ensemble? And
no.
I've heard this story from somebody.
What?
The ensemble came on in front, small child, and you'd sellotaped your lyrics to the back of his jacket and informed him to stay right in front of you. I'm sure it was a Wizard of Oz somewhere.
I don't know. I mean, the wonderful Spencer, you know, he was good for things like that, you know. You could get him to stand there with words written to him. Hi Spencer, if you're out there. Oh, bless you, I miss you. But no, what I did do once was I did Peter Pan once as a narrator for the wonderful Paul Hammond, who's out there somewhere in the Emirates. Hello, Paul, if you're out there. And literally before the show started, on the day of the dress rehearsal, he gave me this page of, it must have been double-sided A4 of script for an opening narration, because he said it needed explaining a bit more. And he said, but don't worry, because I've put all sort of Star Trek references in, you know, this is an enterprising mission and blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, so I had no hope with that. So I thought I'd be very clever and write it on the lamp that I was holding at the beginning in the dark. However, it got to the evening and I walked out and it was in a spotlight and I couldn't see my words. So I literally made up an entire speech. And I remember walking off and Paul going, "That was good, that. Wasn't anything I wrote, but yeah, it was all right." Yeah. So I kind of gave up after
Inability
that.
to learn scripting.
Well, that's what it is, you know, but what can you do?
Do you remember back in, we've actually got a lot of people asking about Coastfields, which for those of you that aren't from around this area, it's a lovely little, what is it? It's a little holiday
centre,
park.
yeah.
Holiday centre, holiday resort, just up the road from us up here. We spent many a year in there performing. There was a time when there was a long black sort of barrier, wasn't there, to sort of separate the audience from the stage effectively. And you realised very quickly that if you could chalk on the back of it as well, spent a lot of time chalking your lines on the back of
yeah.
Oh, giving away all the secrets now.
I am professional in a way.
Absolutely.
I've not got any words written down here. Now this is all made up. This is crazy.
Good banter.
Good banter,
Good.
Ruth. Thanks. Well, there'll be more good banter in a little while this evening, which I look forward to very much. But right now, we're almost time for our second guest. The lovely Serena Grant will be joining us in just a few moments. But before we do that, we're going to play her charity single that she did. Which is out there now. We're going to play that for you first, and then we're going to be chatting to the lovely Serena Grant live here on Stage to Stream. Don't go anywhere.
Everything has changed. Nothing stayed the same. The cities are all empty and the streets are all bare. The rivers are still flowing, there's no more despair. What has life become now? It just isn't fair, it's true. So true. Don't give up hope. Together we can cope. I'm thinking, I'm wishing, I'm wondering, I'm dreaming of you. Just pick up the phone and stay home. Hopes and dreams are frayed. We're living in dismay. The world as we know it is shattered at our feet. We can't put this shit behind us or on delete. But at least we're all in this together, trying to stay upbeat. We're one. We've won. Don't give up hope. Together we can go. I'm thinking, I'm wishing, I'm wondering, I'm dreaming of you. Just pick up the phone and stay home. Don't give up hope. Together we can cope. I'm thinking, I'm wishing, I'm wondering, I'm dreaming of you. I'm thinking, I'm wishing, I'm wondering, I'm dreaming of you. Just pick up the phone.
Thank you, NHS.
And stay home. Stage 2 Screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. The lovely Serena Grant. Hello, Serena. How are you?
Hello, good evening. I'm very well, thank you. You?
Wonderful, yes. Lovely to have you here. And can I first of all say, what a beautiful song. Absolutely love that. How did that come about? Tell us a bit about the inspiration and how it all came together and everything about it.
Do you know what? It's hard to believe. I started writing that last March, and never in a million years would I think that nearly a year on, it will still be very relevant to today. But yeah, so we just got into lockdown, obviously last March, and I was feeling really, really down, really low, and I just wanted to find a way to kind of lift my spirits and help other people. So I remember I was just sitting on my bed with my keyboard one night and just had to play around with some chords. And then I thought, this doesn't sound too bad. I then put a little message out on Facebook, said, do any musicians want to have a go at writing the songs together? Because obviously, I can only do so much myself. So I got a team of musicians together, and we all recorded from home and sort of had to send each other bits of tracks and stuff, and eventually came up with this song. And then I thought about obviously raising money for the NHS, make it a charity single. Obviously the NHS are very relevant to the whole coronavirus and helping everyone get through it. And I thought it'd be nice to raise money for them. And then on top of that, I thought, why not do a video with it as well, which I think he played because I could hear the pots and pans in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I then sent a message out on Facebook to just my family and friends and random people that I don't know, and said, would you like to hold up a sign with some lyrics and kind of put it together as a video? And yeah, it kind of went really well actually, and obviously getting everyone to hold up the signs, and it just kind of lifted everyone's spirits a bit, and just I think there are more people involved in total. And then I video together.
Oh, we're freezing. We're freezing on your end, I think. Are you still there? You're there? Yeah, no, yeah, you're just freezing. It's going to happen. It's technology, these times and stuff. I mean, no, that's okay. That's good. Yeah, an absolutely incredible song. Loved it. It was, yeah, as you say, very uplifting and great to see everybody collaborating and joining in with everything and doing all that side of it. It's beautiful. How did it all start for you? Where with your singing and you're obviously because you play the guitar as well. Where did that all begin?
Well, I have always loved singing ever since primary school. Really, I've really enjoyed singing. So I was always wanted to be in the choirs and the school shows and things. And then I kind of, when I left school, I did my A-levels, and left school, and then kind of went into just full-time work and stuff. And then I thought, what, I really miss music. So why not kind of start up a band? So I got a few musicians involved, and we kind of formed a band, and we started doing like weddings all over the country and things. And then I learned a lot from the bands, and how to set up music equipment and more like the tech side of it. And then about sort of 3-4 years ago or so, I decided to go solo, and sort of had to build up from there really. And then from then on, I sort of taught myself a bit more guitar, because I hadn't really ever played guitar much really before. I've done it a little bit, but like nothing crazy. So I sort of wanted to push that a bit more, and obviously buy all my own PA equipment and work out how to use it. And yeah, and I was doing really well with gigs, but obviously everything's stopped at the moment.
Yes, it all came to a crashing stop, didn't it? Straight away. How did that affect you? Obviously, you went out and did the charity single and all that side of it, but how did it affect you? With that just definitive stop of everything. Like it did for everyone.
I found it really, really difficult. Obviously, many musicians did, but this is my full-time job. I think I had so many weddings booked over last summer. I would have obviously probably got more bookings in, but in total, I've been kind of tallying up, and I've had about 250 cancellations at the moment.
Wow.
Obviously, there would have been a lot more, but I had no bookings over Christmas, so I didn't lose anything because I didn't gain anything. But all the weddings I had booked last year, everyone cancelled them and moved them to this year.
Yeah.
But obviously we're still in a similar situation this year, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for everybody. But yeah, I found it really, really tough, just losing all my income, my confidence really. I was also supposed to buy a house as well, and that all fell through because obviously I just, like, 1 minute I was fine, and then the next I had no income coming in, so they sort of said we can't do that anymore. So yeah, it really knocked me really hard.
Yeah, it's been a tough time for everyone, hasn't it? And you don't think of those things as well of you losing your gigs. On top of that, people losing their weddings, and beyond that, everything that sort of lines up beyond that. It's certainly affected everybody in the industry and beyond. But all we can hope is that as we say, people are starting to look at this year. Hopefully, more will start to come in. Have you had anything starting to come in this year, or are people still tentative on booking and holding off?
I've had no new bookings whatsoever. It's all been everyone from last year that cancelled and moved to this year in hoping that it would all be gone by this year, as all kind of. But I've had no new bookings at all. I think everyone's very hesitant to arrange anything, and even if people have been arranging things, they've said, "Oh, we're not really sure if it's going ahead, but we're going to pencil this in," kind of thing. So I haven't really had any definite bookings. Who knows what's going to happen, really?
Well, this is it, isn't it? And but I've got a couple of friends that are getting married this year, or supposed to be getting married last year, that have put it off. It's the same with everything, isn't it? We can but hope and look forward to the time when it all returns. So have you been keeping yourself, sort of amused and keeping the creative alive, throughout this?
Well, I've actually just started advertising doorstep gigs.
Okay.
So I've got a few bookings actually for that, but it's just excited to do some gigs that are socially distanced. Most people have actually booked me to perform to them, so I do like personalised songs and things, and it's all COVID compliance. Nice to sort of being on breaks and stuff, which has been fun. So I've been doing that. I've been doing like guitar lessons from home, so teaching some kids at home from my home kind of thing. So trying to keep things normal but in a different way. And I've been writing some songs as well. I've got one song that hasn't quite finished yet from last year, and then I've got 2 new songs that I'm currently working on at the moment. So I've kind of got 3 in the pipeline, but haven't quite got any of them finished yet.
That's good. And that's the thing, we've been talking about, over the past, with everybody, that sort of same narrative that goes on of although these are not great times, we do have time to do things in that respect. So sort of, the projects, with Nathan, we were just saying the same thing, those projects that you always put off because you never have time. It's good to kind of be able to do those things now and sort of push ahead with it. So that's really, that's a positive throughout all this of using it to do that. And the fact that you're passing on, your knowledge of the guitar and that side of it to other people, it is great in these times. It's an important thing and something that's wonderful. What sort of thing are you looking at doing in the future? Once we're open, are you back on the road? Is that where you want to be?
I would love. I think. Do you know what? I've always wanted to just be like my own artist and write my songs and things. And I feel like now is the perfect opportunity to kind of, because gigs aren't happening really, obviously, at the moment. So it's nice to just have that time, as you say, to focus on writing songs and things. I mean, ideally, my dream would be, to be a worldwide superstar with my own songs. But I feel like there's a long way to go. But I feel like almost like the less you focus on the gigs and the more you focus on your originals, the more likely that is to ever possibly happen. Obviously, I love gigs. I really enjoy it. I get a buzz from it. It helps my confidence. I love kind of making other people happy. So I really hope that gigs can happen and that I can focus more on my original music and just get back to being out till 2 a.m. and I used to moan about that. I've got such a long drive home and I didn't get to bed till the sun was coming up, but I can't wait to do that again now.
I think that's something that's come out of all of this, is it does make you appreciate what we thought were, the hard, stressful times. Actually, it makes you look back at it and go, I'd give anything to do that again, and sort of, get back out there. And I think that in itself will kind of push everybody forward in the future of really wanting to get out there and do stuff. And it's great that you're doing your own personal stuff as well, which that's the way forward. It's using this time to do that, to sort of create your own material and push yourself forward, so that by the time you get back, you're there without and able to push out your own songs. So very commendable indeed. Yeah, I love it. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Ruth, who is in Social Media Corner, and see if she's got any questions for us. So we're hoping we can just zoom over there. We probably won't. It'll probably freeze again, which it has indeed done. I think it's something with Zoom for some reason on this program. It doesn't like it. But anyway, we're going to go to Zoom. There we are, Ruth. It might be you. I think it is your moon face. Yeah, it's
light up on me, haven't you?
Yeah, it's the light stressing out over your face, and it's going. Well, we can't cut to Ruth until we've got the light off her face. So, oh, it's all good.
It's funny because it's true.
It is true. Yeah, it's coming from Zoom to you. So what more can I do? Anyway, let's talk to you. Let's. Have we got any questions this evening?
We have. Yes, we've got lots and lots of questions coming in for soon, and also a lot of love for your song. Everyone's blowing up on that, absolutely loving it. It's a very good song. Actually, yeah, it's a good one. It's absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of people wanting to know where they can actually purchase it, and because it's fundraising, isn't it? It's a charity single, so they want to know where they can get involved in that.
So if you search on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon.
Yes.
All of the usual streaming platforms. I think iTunes and Amazon are sort of best or the most popular ones. You type in Serena Grant Stay Home. That is where you can download the track, and every penny raised will go to the NHS.
Oh,
amazing.
Fab.
Yeah.
Where are we at the minute? Can we reveal the total where you've got to?
I haven't checked recently. I think the last time I checked was last summer. But you know what? Because I haven't really advertised it much since then, actually, I haven't really checked. But it'd be nice to know, what happens from this, and hoping other people will download it and obviously boost the.
Let's push it. What we'll do is, Serena, if we get, when this is finished, if you pop this into the chat on here, and then we can share it for you. If you give us a sort of the links and stuff of anywhere, and then we can really promote it out, and it'd be great to get some support from our friends out there in the industry and beyond. Ruth, back to you. Any more?
Oh yeah, no, I've got loads of questions.
Great, go for it.
Right, okay, so we've got Beverly from Birmingham. She wants to know, if you could choose anywhere in the world, venue-wise, where would you love to sing, if you could choose?
Oh, it would have to be, do you know what, this is quite an obvious one, but the O2 Arena. I think that's when you know that you've like, you've got to that point of like, yeah, I'm at the O2. I've been to the O2 to see loads of different bands, and I've always thought I want to be on that little stage down there. So to do that, I'd be like, oh my goodness, this is the best moment of my life. I'm trying to think of something more exciting, but
that's pretty
in my head, personally, just the O2 would be like, oh, amazing.
Oh, fab. Well, it's one of those things when you walk into a venue, isn't it? No matter where it is or how big it is, you just know, and you kind of go, yeah, one day this is going to be me. I'll be there.
Like you did, Ruth, with here.
Yeah.
And with working with me.
Yeah.
You're on camera when you're doing them faces.
You're kidding.
Give me another question.
Yeah, more questions. Okay, Aaron, who are we looking for? Nathan. So Nathan, who was on earlier, he wants to know who inspired you in terms of songwriting. So do you draw sort of inspiration from anyone in particular?
Do you know what? My first ever inspiration was probably Eva Cassidy. I just listen to her music and I just love her voice and love her guitar playing. She's kind of what inspired me to play the guitar. On the other side of it, I used to love listening to like Avril Lavigne and Pink and just like kind of women with power. And I was like, I want to be like that. I want to, I don't know. I just always I like listening to like kind of women artists that have got like a lot of like to them, and it kind of makes me feel like I want to be like that. I know that song's obviously not quite but I am currently writing a song that's kind of a lot more rocky. I'm kind of thinking like Paramore, Avril Lavigne kind of style.
Nice.
hope that answers that question.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we want you back on here when you've got that song, because I want to play it.
Definitely. Have you got a working title for that new song?
Uh,
Or is it a secret?
I think
It's a secret.
it's
That's all right. We won't go any more onto that one. That's a secret. Okay, right. We've got another question here from Joseph Price. Hi, Joseph. Wants to know what's kept you going during the pandemic. So you personally, obviously you've spent a lot of time, writing your charity single. But what's kept you personally going?
Do you know what I found last year incredibly difficult. I was probably at the lowest point at some points. So I'm not going to say about last year because that was not a good time for me. Mm-hmm. So I'll say from Christmas onwards, how I've kept going and kept positive. I take one day at a time is what I've decided to start doing. I literally don't think about tomorrow because I find it gets a bit overwhelming thinking, am I going to be sitting at home watching TV all day, or am I going to go for a walk or whatever? I just take one day at a time. I think, right, today I'm going to do this, and then I worry about the next day when it comes to it. Mm-hmm. And I just find that's helped me a lot to focus and to not get too about being at home all the time.
Yeah, and that's a great way to look at it. Just because, like you say, it can be very overwhelming. Particularly for a lot of people in this industry, you go from going, full steam ahead all the time. That diary is booked, and you're gigging and you're living this life, and then all of a sudden it's like someone's just flicked a light switch, and it's and it's that uncertainty, and it's also the kind of thing when you're looking ahead and you're going, it's nice to stop and have that break, because with a lot of us in the industry, we don't take time for birthdays, and you try and get to family, occasions and events when you can. But obviously, diary permitting, that doesn't necessarily happen all the time. So you do end up missing out on a lot of events and things. So it is kind of nice to be able to slow the pace. Although obviously it's not a great time for anyone at all. But it's also when you're looking ahead and you kind of go, it's nice to know where that final point is going to be, when all this is going to end and we're going to get back to normal, because then you can sort of start judging how it's how you're going to spend your time personally. But when sometimes you're not sure when that's going to happen, it can be totally overwhelming, and it's a totally new feeling for a lot of people. So I think that's a really good way of looking at it, just to sort of take each day as it goes. And if you wake up one day and you go, yeah, I'm going to go for a walk today, and then the next day, no, nothing's on, I'm just going to go on Netflix all day. Or you do you, take one day at a time and just keep pushing through. And that's
I also find it's best to just not plan anything, because I think the previous plans, I sort of, even rough little things, I say, I'm going to do that this day, I'm going to do that in a week's or 2 weeks time, or book a gig in a month's time. And I just feel like just don't plan anything, because literally it's better to not have the cancellation and the disappointment, because that's what I kept booking gigs and things, in the future, but I booked them, and 9 times out of 10 obviously they'd be cancelled and I feel disappointed, so I just didn't book anything. I was like, no, not booking anything, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
And it's important to with the things you have been doing, of like writing your new material and doing that sort of stuff, of pushing yourself in a different direction. And I think whereas you're losing out on the gigs in the future and that sort of stuff, when you've got that sort of drive to do that side of it, and to push yourself in a new direction, it's important to do that, because that's what, for us creatives, that's what keeps us sane, of coming up with new things and new ideas for the future. So that's good. That's is there any more questions, Ruthie, or are you good over there?
What have we got? Let me have a little scroll. Oh, hello, Tommy J. He wants to know, what's your favourite instrument?
Oh, I'm guessing guitar.
Yeah, I'm going to say...
the piano keyboard.
Was that piano keyboard?
I've got my keyboards right here. I like...
We're just having a few internet connection problems, but it's fine. We're pro. We can cope with this. The world's crashing down, and so is the internet apparently. But that's fine. Oh, are you back? There we go. Are you there? It's fine. Everyone's online at this time of night, obviously in your area. draining your internet.
Okay, I think we can safely say that I think the answer there was piano/keyboard. She's got them next to her.
Yeah,
that's what I patched together.
Yeah, no, it's good.
As we've got.
It's good.
Fab.
I think we froze over there.
I think we have. I think
over there. But it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful chatting to you. I'm gonna scroll over to Ruthie while we wait for your camera to catch up. Hello, Ruth.
Hello.
There we go. So yeah, just very quickly before we say goodbye to Serena, we're just waiting for a camera to internet to work in that part of the world. Is there any more questions out there or anything we need to know, or we've got another guest on this evening that can
we
talk
have
to?
got a new guest on very shortly. There was only one other little bit we wanted to find out. It was your location, Serena. So whereabouts are you? Because we mentioned about these doorstop gigs that you've got going on, which I'll be honest with you, at the minute in this industry, there's a lot of people that are starting to do this and taking entertainment to people. It's a bizarre concept, but I think it's great. These little intimate gigs on people's doorsteps. It happened a lot at Christmas, didn't it? You know, sort of elf and Santa visits, people's doorsteps and things. But equally, if you've got like a special celebration and things, why not have a singer pop up at your door? I think it's a fabulous idea. So I think we'll find out where you're based, Serena.
Let's
and if
have a
you want to pop in as well, your sort of details where people can find you, if they want to book you, and also let's pop your where we can. Your links for buying your charity single as well. We'll put that in there, so people have got all the information for you, and then we'll take it from there. And I think we'll catch up with you in a couple of weeks and see how things are going.
Absolutely. We've got you back now. So, where in the country are you based?
Did I freeze for ages then or something?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed all of that.
No, it's fine. You froze for a long time, but you were in a good pose like that for the whole time. So it was a thoughtful pose.
I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's technology and internet connection. Whereabouts in the world are you based? In the UK? Where are you? Are you obviously somewhere with no internet?
Why the Wi-Fi's so bad? I'm in the countryside hills. So I'm in Sudbury sort of on like the Suffolk Essex place. So I kind of I travel to Norfolk, Suffolk, Essex, and Cambridgeshire, Hertfordshire, anywhere really.
Great. So if you've got a celebration coming up and you fancy a doorstep gig, then let Serena know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here this evening. Wonderful. Wishing you all the best with everything in the future. We'll get you back in a few weeks and we'll have a chat. I want you to get onto that rock song. That's your mission now for the next few weeks, because I want to see you rocking out now in the next one. So if there's anybody out there that wants to get some collaborations going, then Serena, pop your information on the news feed below. Let's get people working together and let's create some magic. I think that's the next project on the list. But thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you this evening. Wishing you all the best with everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up, make some noise for the fabulous Serena Grant. Come on. Okay, so you're watching Stage to Stream here, live from the Neverland Theatre. That's our second guest, the lovely Serena Grant. We do apologise for the internet. We don't apologise because it's not our fault. It's probably somebody else's who provides internet service. We won't mention any names, but I'm having trouble with mine as well right now. But yes, if you want to be part of this and you want to come onto the show, we are looking, as we said, for more people in any part of this industry to come and chat. Let's get collaboration going. If you're a musician and you want to be part of something with Serena, jump on the stream. We'll get her to pop her information on there. Let's get some fun going, and get that song done that she wants to do. I think that's going to be rather exciting. Ruth over in social media corner. Hello, you all right?
Hello, I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're good. We've got internet, so happy days. Just remind everybody how they need to get in touch with us.
Yeah, of course. So pop it on to the old Facebook. If you head on over to stagetostream.tv, you can hit us up on the live chat there. Or equally, you can drop me an inbox as well. And also, you can catch us on WhatsApp. We've got a new little system going on with that, so you can text us or drop us a message on WhatsApp as well. Gary, do you want to give us a little jingle for the song again? For the number?
For the okay. 07510891005. Yeah.
It's getting better. It's
Do you like that?
better than the first one. Yeah. So you can get in touch by dropping us a message on WhatsApp or text, or like I said, comment on the live stream as well. We still want to find out where everybody is. We've reached Wales now as well.
Ooh.
We've got.
Who do we know in Wales?
Well, we've got
Heather, Rhiannon. They've got to be watching this evening, I hope.
Actually, it looks like just Heather's watching, so Rhiannon's let the side down somewhat, and I'm assuming Heather's in Wales. She's from Wales, so I'm assuming. So I'm going to take that as we've hit Wales. So that is also another country technically. So
yeah, we're everywhere this evening. We're all over the nations.
But yeah, anything you want to know, if you want to get in touch with any of the guests, if you have any questions for them, drop that in as well. It's always good to find out where people are in their careers, how they got there, and things like that. It would be nice to get that collaboration going as well for this little rock number that Serena's got as well. I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I think so. I think let's do that. Let's push out to all the musos out there, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Let's just create something for the fun of creating something. Let's create this. We need rock legend people out there that want to be part of this. Jump on, send her a message. Let's do something, and push forward over the next few weeks.
Yeah, of course. Days. And of course, don't forget, I think we'll have Serena be dropping in the link as well to be able to get hold of her charity single. A lot of love for that on here. Lots and lots of love. Everyone seemed to enjoy that.
Now, if Chris North is up next, if you're out there, you can log on and we'll get you on here because, we'll chat to you next in around about 5 minutes' time if you're here. That would be exciting. Who have we got on tomorrow evening? Do we even know? I know a fact that it was already mentioned that the wonderful Tommy J, who appeared on our show last night, just quickly promote the fact that he was doing a 12-mile unicycle, which is insane, for the charity of the Grand Order of the Water Rats. He did that today. I was watching him live while he did it. It's wonderful to see. He's here tomorrow night, which is very exciting. Mm-hmm. Who else do we have?
So tomorrow night as well, we've got the wonderful Mr. John Hewer. He's going to be joining us a little bit later on tomorrow. John is, I'd say, is he kind of local? Kind of is, isn't he? He's in the vicinity.
It's Grimsby way, I believe.
Grimsby Louth, isn't it? Yeah. So John has his own company. He's a fabulous actor. He tours around. He does lots of different things. We've had him here in the theatre. We've been to see him in other theatres. Honestly, he gets everywhere and he does a fabulous job.
Yes, we had him here as he did Tommy Cooper. We were due to have him here doing his comedy Dracula show, but unfortunately we were locked down at the point he was supposed to be coming here. So I'm looking forward to. Of course, he did Steptoe and Son as well here. Yes. Which was wonderful and very close to the characters. Like it was like having them here. I love that show. So we're going to be chatting to them tomorrow, which is wonderful. And so looking forward to that. Now, am I right in thinking we need another guest tomorrow night?
We have actually got a slot has opened up. Yes. So if anybody wants to come on, drop me a message. You can do that via the Facebook page stagetostream.tv, or again you can jump onto WhatsApp or drop me a message as well on text. We can get you on tomorrow night. Now you can be from any walk of life in the industry. You could be on stage or you could be behind the stage. So we're talking actors, singers, dancers, choreographers, directors, even casting agents. It's always good to hear from the other side of the table as well. Tell us your secrets, that would be nice. But yeah, if you make scenery, if you're a costumier, makeup, special effects makeup, stunts, anything really, anything and everything. We want to hear from you. So if you want to come on, have a little chat, then drop me a message. And then we can get you in. But we've got lots coming up. We've got lots of acts throughout the week. But yeah, we do have an extra little slot tomorrow night. So if anyone wants to come and join us, let us know.
Yeah, that'd be nice if you do want to join us. Yes. But I'm looking forward to speaking to Tommy. Like I said, I was watching him today. He was unicycling away for charity.
Yeah, he did well.
He did very well, yeah,
also,
on the seafront.
We've got to give a little shout out to Lucy as well. Lucy is Tommy's sister. And she was cycling along with him as well. So she did the equal amount. Actually, did she do twice as much? Because she had 2 wheels. Because he only had the one on the unicycle.
I don't
know
think
how
it's.
that works.
I don't think we want to take this away from Tommy. That was very impressive. I mean,
it was very good.
yeah. I mean, but well done for the support there, and it was good to see Rollo turn up at the finish line to say well done. So he wouldn't be out there on his bike. But well done to both of them. That was wonderful stuff. And if you do want to, you can still, I assume, donate to Tommy, who did that today. He finished the 12-mile unicycle ride. If you want to do that, then quite simply find him, Tommy J, on Facebook. Wonderful. What's going on social media right now? We're just waiting for Chris North to jump in now. He'll be out there somewhere. I might even send him a message shortly because I don't really want to talk to you for this amount of time.
Oh. Well, let me have a little look, see what's happening over here in social media.
With your big moon face.
All right, let's have the moon face. Tommy's just popped on actually to say he's now sat on a bag of iced peas. I don't know if that was an accident.
That's just a thing he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accident prone.
No, just for fun.
As you do. We've got more from Wales. We've got Karen Porter. She's got 3 little Welsh flags up there. Hi, Karen, over in Wales. Who else have we got watching? We have got... Oh, hello. We've got somebody watching in France. That's nice. Nice to see you. Yeah, we're all over the place, aren't we?
France?
Yeah.
Who's in France?
We have got Joe all the way from... Now, I don't know how you pronounce this. I think it's Mo. M-E-A-U-X. Is that right? Is it Mo?
If it's French, you have to go Mo.
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 I'll leave you to do that one. So, yeah, we're all over the place, really. But do pop on and put your location down. We want to see where you are. Let's have a little look. Yeah, I think that's where we're going. Hi, Karen. She just popped in to say hello.
Yes, but Welsh flags up as well. I've just seen that
flags,
pop up. Very
good.
nice indeed, yes.
And Tommy's currently telling us he's in Turkey. Oh, sorry, Torquay. Oh,
Turkey. Ah, you see, he did it. He did it, and you fell for it.
He did the joke.
Well, it's been lovely chatting to you, Ruth. It really, really has.
Good banter.
But good banter.
Thanks.
Good banter. Better than last night.
Is it?
Well, in a way.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was slightly better than last night. I'm sure, within 3 or 4 years, it will be a lot better.
Excellent.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. How long we known each other now?
Well, it's funny you should say, because it's coming up for 10 years.
10 years.
I know.
Get less for murder.
You do.
Okay, up next in just 2 minutes' time, the fabulous Chris North. We're going to take a very quick ad break and then we'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Something magical is coming this Easter. Live on Stage to Stream, our brand new online panto, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Join Dorothy Gale, The Cowardly Lion, Tin Man, and the Scarecrow in a brand new online magical adventure. Live this Easter at www.stagetostream.tv. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, live, online, this Easter. For more information, visit our website at www.stagetostream.tv.
So, yes, indeed, if you've just joined us, hello. If you've been with us all night, hello. Welcome back to stagetostream.tv. Time for our final part of the evening, our final guest of the evening. We're very excited about this. If you do have any questions this evening, make sure you send them in to Ruth right now. We're going to be coming to you very shortly indeed. But right now, will you please put your hands together and welcome, wherever you are, for the fabulous Magic and Illusion of Chris North. Chris North.
Hi, Gary. Nice to see you.
How are you? Are you well, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's wonderful to see you. It has been literally years since we've worked together. I don't even want to remember how long ago. But how have you been? Are you well?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes.
Fabulous. So, for those of you out there that don't know about Chris North and all the different shows he does, let's go to you now, and you tell us a little bit about all the things that you've done and where it all started for you. Give us the potted history of you.
The potted history. Okay, it started at Pontins Holiday Centre at Hakefield when I was, part of the expression, the camp photographer, and there was a magic act working there called Al Roberts and Dorothy from Wales. And I watched their work and I thought, I can do that. So there it started. I was 20 years old and gave up photography there and then, and went on to being a magician. And it's lasted me 53 years so far.
Amazing. And you do all kinds of acts, don't you? You know, I mean, obviously you did illusion and that sort of stuff, but you also do sort of Victorian magic and all that sort of thing. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, the changes came about probably in the mid-90s, when you've been around sort of as long as I have. If someone said, we could book Chris North, and let's say I've seen him before, fed up with him. And I started coming up with new ideas and themed acts and giving them different names. We started off with an act called Trick Stars, which was myself and Belinda. It was like a cartoon-style comedy magic illusion show.
Yep.
Then we went on to change the scene completely to a rock show, which I think you remember seeing, called Rock Magic. Lots of sound, lights, and lots of big illusions. Then we went on, did ships, did various things as a cabaret act. And then probably about 8 years ago, thought there's a little niche in the market there for Victorian magic. And we've put together now 4 production shows over the years and presented them in local theatres, just recreating Victorian entertainment.
Amazing. And you did New Faces, am I correct? I mean, we're taking it back a bit.
You weren't born, were you, Gary?
Well, I was, yes. But for those of you out there that probably don't remember it, it's kind of the Britain's Got Talent sort of predecessor of many, many years, wasn't it?
Yes, and the unusual thing about New Faces, well, it was actually in 1977, where a show like Britain's Got Talent nowadays gets about 8.5 million viewers. Shows in those days regularly got sort of 18 to 25 million viewers, because there were only 3 TV channels. So they really didn't have very much choice. We were lucky enough. On the actual show, you talk about sort of, there's no such thing as bad publicity. On the actual show, we came second. We were 1 point off the winner. But over the weekend, we got a phone call to say that the winner had been disqualified because he'd appeared on another talent show a month or so before, which was not allowed. So we were pushed up to the winners. Well, because the national newspapers picked that up, and we got far more publicity out of coming second and then first, rather than winning outright. And equally, the guy who was disqualified got an enormous amount of publicity out of it as well. So we were all winners.
Amazing. That's incredible. And of course, you've toured all everywhere, haven't you? Over the years, you've done everything and done everywhere. You're certainly a working act, as we would describe. You've done everything.
Yes, started probably in the clubs up north, and that sort of work just doesn't exist anymore. You know, you would do week after week without going home, one area to another. Start in Yorkshire, you'd finish in Yorkshire on a Saturday night about 11 o'clock, push all the gear into the van, and drive all the way up to Edinburgh for a Sunday lunchtime show.
Incredible.
So you would actually be. But after New Faces, the type of work changed. I mean, I got a fantastic grounding from doing probably 3 or 4 years in the clubs, because that taught you a lot, because if you could entertain there, you could entertain anywhere. But after New Faces, of course, you then went on, luckily, to better type of work. Really, you went to sort of top nightclubs and things like that. And working, as we were a speciality act, we were sort of, we supported a lot of big names in those days. I mean, I've supported people like Morecambe and Wise, Frankie Howard, and pop names, Alvin Stardust. You know, many of them sadly who aren't with us anymore. But yeah, it was a great time to be growing up in the business, to be honest.
Yeah, it's incredible, and you know, and such a varied life that you had back then. So, how has everything affected you over the past year? Because obviously, for everybody, well, a lot of people, it stopped. How have you kind of adapted to that and sort of moved on?
Well, learning to do this for one.
Exactly.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. I've been writing some shows for Zoom. I've written a Victorian show. It's a sort of like an intimate show, really, which will be about 10 viewers at a time, and they will take part in the show. It'll be done on Zoom, but it's to depict all the bizarre and unusual phenomena that occurred in the Victorian age, or what they believed in. So what I've done is tried to recreate probably quite an eerie atmosphere, but to produce this, which lends itself to Zoom, because you know, just 10 people watching, you can actually get very intimate with them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing.
And also, you know, I've been trying to get my head around Zoom and everything else, and built myself a little studio, taught myself to do things like this, you know, all those sort of things that you do. But I've also got an 11-year-old, so he keeps me on my toes as well.
Have you been homeschooling as well while you've been there?
Oh, what fun.
What sort of things have you been teaching?
You think to yourself, well, I think I'm reasonably intelligent, reasonably clever, until you start homeschooling.
Yeah.
And you realise you know nothing.
I have nothing but admiration for teachers. And I think a lot of people would say exactly the same after this year. So, yeah. That's incredible. So, where are you sort of aiming to go in the future? Are you back on the road? Are you staying with this?
No, not so much now, because I'm of an age now.
Are you of an age where you can get the vaccine?
I can't lift boxes around, big heavy boxes around anymore. So yes, when I say no, I won't go back on the road, that's probably wrong. I wouldn't go back on the road as such. If someone wants me to do something, I'll go and do a Victorian show or something like that. But I'm also doing quite a lot of promotion.
Yeah.
Because my wife Belinda, we've put together her own act, and she premiered it at Cromer Pier this summer.
Amazing.
And it was an act based on, when we had the act Trickstar, the two of us.
Yeah.
It's an act based on her character in that show. So she's actually called Tracy Trickstar, and it's a sort of tongue-in-cheek, again, very cartoony look type show.
Yeah. So did she start off as kind of your assistant in the sort of illusion and magic world? Is it
at the very start of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and now she's progressed to being the magician.
I mean, she also does, in fairness, she doesn't just do the Tracy Trickstar. For the last 3 years, she's been doing a Victorian show in her own right.
Amazing.
As the Victorian Enchantress, which she's been doing around various venues as well.
Incredible. How did you two both meet? Was it through the industry, or was it completely different?
I was introduced by a friend of a friend because I was actually looking for an assistant at the time. I mean, we've been working together now over 30 years, would you believe? Incredible. Man and boy and girl.
Oh, that's incredible. But it's nice that you both met and and worked together and are still there now, and obviously pushing in a new direction. So where does the new sort of magic go? Is it like a knockback to the old school magic, or is it new sort of stuff, or is it a bit of everything?
As far as Victorian stuff, that's a nod back to the old type of magic, with a little bit of license to bring it up to date. As far as the Tracy Trickstar stuff is concerned, yes, I mean some new and original ideas in the show, and just trying to put a different edge on it, a different look to it, really. There aren't so many female magicians out there, and we wanted to try and come up with something that was different to everybody else was doing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's incredible. It's wonderful to see. We're going to show the promotional material and obviously that side of it at the end of this. So I've already seen it, and it's great to see. It's yeah, well, it's a
Well,
flashback to when I
you'll
remember.
remember her from
Yeah.
Rock Magic, because which is a totally different character in Rock Magic to what
Yeah,
she's doing now.
I think I saw you before as well. So I saw Rock Magic, but I think I saw you
You
before
probably
that
saw
as well.
Trick Stars as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, absolutely. That was me right at the beginning of my career as well. Don't want to make you feel old, but you know, yeah.
I think you actually, I was talking about this afternoon, I think you actually had a guillotine from me.
Yes.
You did a prop, didn't you?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yeah. Well, you know,
Happy
in my
days,
time,
eh?
I've done a bit of everything. So, yeah, whatever I could do to, you know, keep my job really, you know. So diversify. But yes, yeah, you're right. I did used to do the guillotine. Yeah, wow, that was a good prop as well. But you know, it was one of them props that always used to scare me, because you always used to go, yeah, this could go wrong. Especially with me, because you know I'm not good with stuff like that. But you know, yeah, I did it for many years, you know, in my comedy act. And yeah, so yeah, that was right back at the beginning, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, Coastfields days.
Yeah, Coastfields, and I think we must have done before there as well, probably.
Yes, I
but,
think
yeah.
we probably did. Yeah,
Thornwick maybe, or even Haven, and yeah, I think with a lot of these things, we always sort of meet each other 3-4 years on duration, you know, sort of move around and different parks and different things. But yeah, it was amazing, and that was the great thing about you guys, was that you always kind of, like you say, you diversified and changed your act so that you could be 3 different acts. You know, and sell yourself out 3 different times, which was, you know, absolute genius. You know, that was the way it should have been, you know.
Yeah, I mean, even one year we were working for a holiday camp chain, and they said, well, we're not going to book many magic acts this year because we're producing our own magic acts with our own staff. And so I said, well, if I came up with something totally different, would you book me? And so we came up with this act, which we did for 1 year. And it was me dressed as an old man. I mean, if I did it now, I wouldn't have to dress up. But it was me dressed as an old man. I suppose you could liken him to Alf Garnett.
Yeah.
And the act was called Jerry Hattrick, which, see what I did there? A little play on words.
I
Jerry
remember it,
Hattrick
yes, yeah.
Plus support. And Belinda was sort of the glamorous half of the act, and I would see Alf Garnett character, and that was a bit fun for a year, and that was probably the first theme thing we ever did, really.
Yeah, I do remember that year when that company decided that they were going to do everything in-house, and they kind of removed all illusion acts, and they removed all magic acts, and they removed all vocal acts.
Quite a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Early 90s.
Yes, yeah. It was the year after I left them, luckily, because it was a horrendous idea of taking away. Well, it basically took away the work of you know, touring acts and tried to do it in-house, but not very well. So but then obviously they brought everybody back afterwards, and you know, nothing more was spoke of it. But yeah, they were crazy times, back then. Yeah. All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're gonna go over to Ruthie right now in social media corner. See if we've got some questions for you. Now there has been a thing with this technically, that it's been freezing for 2 seconds when we go over to Ruthie. So if it does this time, I'm going to pull an amusing pose that I freeze in. Oh, it worked this time. Oh, that's annoying. I've sorted it this time.
I put extra bronzer on, that's what it was.
Have you been bronzering in the corner?
I've been bronzering up.
Yeah, you still look like a moon.
Thank you.
A big moon in the
Right
corner. So how are you, Ruthie? Are you over in the corner right now? What have you got for us?
Okay, I've got lots and lots of questions. So welcome, Chris. Welcome to the show. Now, first of all, we've got Nathan. He wants to know, what's the first trick that you ever learnt?
Oh, the very first.
The very first.
This is the way back.
I think there was 2 or 3. I sort of started with about the first time I ever went out and worked, I was that nervous. I was booked for a 25-minute spot, and I did the 25 minutes, and I think I probably did 25 tricks.
Oh.
Without a break and without a word. But one of the first ones was an illusion which people would be aware of, called the substitution trunk. Where you're tied inside a box, and curtains pulled up, and you instantly change places. that was probably one of the first illusions I ever did. Just talking of that 25 minutes, just to give you a little story there.
It's a good illusion, in
also,
fairness.
Very early on, when I was doing sort of private functions, I was employed by a builder's merchant. They rang my agent and they said, we'd like to book Chris North. What does he do? He does magic, this, that, and the other. How long does he do? 25 minutes. And how much does it cost? Well, at that time, it was £25. And
wow.
The booker said, wow, he said, that's £1 a minute. He said, my men have to work an hour to earn that.
That's scary, isn't it? And I don't know, did I buy my illusion off you as well? I may have bought the subs trunk off you as well.
You might well have done,
I think probably yes. I think over the time, I think, probably had that as well, But yeah, sub trunk was an amazing illusion. I love that and still do to this day. It's beautiful. Right, Ruthie, give us another one.
Yeah, okay, this might bring us on to our next one. So Dave, hi Dave, Dave Burns, he wants to know, what type of magic do you prefer?
Oh, Dave, I know Dave very well, actually. I remember when he started his act, because he's an illusionist, but I think you probably know him, actually, Gary.
Yes.
Dave Burns.
Yeah, we've worked with Dave a few times.
What type of magic do I prefer?
Yeah.
I've got a real wide thinking as far as magic. I really like illusions, but sort of my age now prevents me from doing the illusions because they're very physical. I've also enjoyed mentalism, and again, I've done a complete show of mentalism. I used to go on the ships a lot, and I've also done production shows which are a whole evening of mentalism. I had a show called Mentalism Live, and I had a show called Mind Force. So I suppose if I was to choose a favourite, that would be one of my favourites. But at the present time, I'm quite enjoying the bizarre Victorian things, because the Victorians had some very strange beliefs.
Yeah.
And trying to recreate some of those has been great fun.
Yeah, absolutely. The Victorian side. I mean, I've with the horror plays I've written, we've kind of incorporated some of that stuff as well. So I completely get what you mean with that. It's a wonderful era. Ruthie, give us another one from Social Media Corner.
Okay, Social Media Corner. Katie would like to know, what's your favourite trick to perform?
Ooh.
My favourite trick. Yeah, that's quite a hard one again, because there are a lot of tricks that are favourite tricks. I suppose I would go back to one of the illusions. As Gary said, things like the sub trunk stood the test of time, the substitution trunk. Those tricks were fantastic. There was an illusion we used to do in the rock show called the Rings illusion, which I really enjoyed as well, where my assistant would escape from several rings. Again, I can't put my finger on an absolute favourite.
I remember all these as well, because I mean, I used to watch your act every time we brought you in, which I think was weekly, at some points, and I remember the ring illusion and the sub trunk and the guillotine, which is why I, took them off you when you didn't want them, but they were, such fun times.
I took over your place with lights and smoke and loud music.
Sounds about right.
Absolutely. Go on, hit me with some more, Ruthie.
Well,
what have you got?
Coming back to that 3-ring illusion. So just a side story. Last year I did a little stint on a cruise ship myself, and they had a resident magician. He was very good. It was on the main stage, and he did sort of close-up magic, and he did this thing where it was the 3 rings, but he did it with people's wedding rings. So he'd go through the audience and grab 3 different wedding rings from people, and he'd managed to do the magic and stick them all together, and at the end obviously he'd separate them, and he'd go back to the people he got the rings from and sort of hold them out in his hand, and they'd take their ring back. And one of the very last shows I did, and somebody took the wrong ring back and put it on their finger and got stuck. Now the problem with it is this ring was very expensive, and it was encrusted in diamonds and all sorts.
That's why they did it, you fool. They knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing.
Just reminded me of that story, and everyone was sort of running around trying to find things. So, has anyone got any butter? Washing up liquid?
They knew.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of ring tricks, here's a story I can tell you. I was working on the QE2 in what was called the Queen's Room, and it was a big ballroom with a big ballroom floor. But it was quite a rough night, and when you do audience participation things, you have to be very careful of the ship. If you're going to invite someone up, they're not going to fall over or anything. So what I did was got this lady up and sat her on a stool. The idea was that I borrowed her ring, and the ring would vanish and would reappear in 3 boxes which were locked up over to one side. So first thing that happened was a wave hit the ship, and the woman sitting on the stool went from one side of the room to the other, still on the stool. The table with the boxes on, with the ring in it, fell on the floor and smashed to pieces. Well, I couldn't see the ring at all, you see. So I'm thinking, how can I get out of this? I mean, one of the parts is I give her a rose at the end. So I thought if I just give her the rose and we'll sort out the ring thing later. And then I had a very loud stage whisper from behind me. The band leader said, "It's in my pocket."
Amazing.
He'd seen the ring, picked it up and put it in his pocket.
Best thing ever.
Now we have to make something of this. So I got the lady back from the other side of the room where she was, asked her to come up and asked her to put her hand in the band leader's pocket. Brought the ring out, brought the house down.
Amazing.
That's the way
How
forward.
to turn a situation around.
Yes, doesn't always happen like that. You don't always get that much luck.
Oh, that's amazing. And that's the best times, the best of times. Yeah, I love it. Okay, Ruthie, any more over there?
Yes, I've got a few more.
Yeah, I see them flying in tonight. It's
they
great.
are. Lots
A
of
lot
love
of
for
people are
Chris.
saying you're a legend. Yeah, that word is being bandied around
Certainly is.
quite a lot this evening. I'd agree, because I remember you many times when I was starting out. So yeah. Okay, give us another one, Ruthie.
Okay, right, what have we got? Joseph Price, all the way from Lincoln. He
Hey,
wants
Joe.
to know, hi Joe, he wants to know, is there a famous illusion or trick that you've always wanted to perform but haven't yet?
There was always one I wanted to perform, and I ended up actually performing it. So here's the story that goes with this. One of my heroes was a guy called Ricciardi, a very famous illusionist from South America. I actually was lucky enough to go and see him live in Greenwich Village in New York. And his finishing illusion was a thing called the buzzsaw, where he'd bring his assistant on. It's a great big circular saw, about sort of 3-foot diameter circular saw. He would then proceed to saw through the person. Now, when you see that done in cabaret or something else, it's quite clinical, if you like. But what he used to do, he would set the whole audience up so that there was a table directly in front of them, a long table that was empty down the middle, and the people sat either side. So when the saw blade came down and hit the person, the blood would spurt up.
Amazing.
Go right down the length of this table. Now, he would stop the blade when it was apparently embedded in his assistant. And then he invites the audience up to come and walk past and look at what they could see. And basically, all you could see was a cut and what mounted to insides.
Amazing.
At the end of it,
grim.
the trick, his assistants would come and lift the girl up, carry her off, but they never showed her restored.
Brilliant.
But he got banned many places in Europe.
That's
from
my
actually
type of.
doing it.
That's exactly that's my sort of act. I would
But
have
I
done
mean,
that.
we ended up doing the buzzsaw. We actually did the buzzsaw in certain of the rock magic shows, because it was a very big prop. So
Yeah.
Yes, I always did want to do it, but I actually did get to do it.
That's amazing. That's my sort of thing. I would do that. Any more, Ruth, while we're here?
Yeah, I've got another one.
Come
This
on.
one it's Beverly from Birmingham. Again, hi Beverly. She'd like to know, is there an opportunity for young children or teens to learn skills online with you? Is that something you've thought about doing, or is it something you are doing?
It's not with me particularly as a possibility. It's something I would certainly think about. Thank you for suggesting it. There are magic clubs that do this. It depends on the area where you are, and we would have to. I mean, if you would like to send Ruthie your email or something like that, and she can pass it on to me, I'll see if I can find any information out for you. Because yeah, it's great to encourage youngsters, and we've got a magic club here in where I am in Norwich, and we encourage youngsters, and it's great to have youngsters come along, and some of the older members could show them quite a lot of experience and show them a lot of tricks and teach them how to do them. And so we do have younger members at our club, and most magic clubs do. But of course, with the current situation, we're not able to do any live meetings at all. We have to do all our meetings online now.
Yeah,
that's incredible. I'm going to pick up on a couple of things. Danny Hunt has sent a message and said, you're a legend, of course. And Danny, we need to get you on here as well. He said, I loved watching you on TV when you were a kid. And also Dane Cordine said, wow, Chris North, my nan used to watch him when she was a little girl. Which is the best thing ever. My nan used to watch you when she was a child.
Well, I can tell you one even worse than that. My wife, Belinda, remembers watching me on New Faces when she was 7 years old.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Ruth, in Social Media Corner. Always a pleasure. We'll be back with you just before we finish this evening. And Chris, we're going to show this video shortly indeed of your lovely lady Belinda. Do you want to set this up and tell us a little bit about it before we round this off and show this video?
Yeah, this video I filmed when she worked at, because there are not many gigs to film anyone at the moment, because we've actually sort of built this act from the beginning of the first lockdown, really. And but she did get the opportunity to perform it a couple of times on Chroma Pier Pavilion in the summer, where they were doing a socially distanced summer show.
Amazing.
So I managed to film it and put this promo together, and all being well, she's got bookings in for the summer. They're already there, and if everything happens and we can go out and do shows again, it'd be great, and she'll be out there doing it.
Absolutely amazing. So we're going to show this clip very shortly indeed. But first of all, can we say thank you very much? It's been an absolute pleasure having you on here. The fabulous Chris North, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gary.
And we're going to leave you with this. Here we go. There we go, the fabulous Tracy Twickstar there, and of course our special guest this evening, Chris North, an absolute pro act, a blast from the past for me as well. Sean Rollison out there as well, who said exactly the same, a great pro act, wonderful. Nice to see you, Rollo. I hope you're joining us soon on the show as well. We'd love to have you on here. And we've got your son on tomorrow night, of course, but we'd love to have you on here as well. Come in and tell us about your fascinating past, because you have loads to talk about. Helen McTee up here has just become a follower. Like the page if you haven't already done so, and of course follow us so you know when we are going live. Ruthie's over there now. We're going to come to you, Ruthie, because I want to talk to you a bit more.
Oh, that's nice.
I know. How's it going?
Good, thank you.
Can I play your jingle one more
Right
time?
hand, Ruthie. Right hand, Ruthie.
Right time, Ruthie.
Yeah.
Ah.
Hello. It's almost the end of the show.
Oh.
Oh, it's been fun, hasn't it?
It has been fun.
Yeah.
But don't worry, don't be sad, because we get to do it again tomorrow night.
We do indeed.
Hooray.
Yes. Okay. But we are still looking for another guest tomorrow night, aren't we?
We are, yes. So anyone out there wants to hop on and join us on the show, drop me a message. You can get in contact via our Facebook page, stagetostream.tv, or indeed you can get us on our WhatsApp or text number, which is... coming.
07510891005. I'm going to get James to do one because
probably get James to do
that. Wise, wouldn't it? In a way,
that was awful.
It was
So
rubbish.
that's the number right there, just at the bottom of the screen. You can see it. So yeah, get in touch if you want to hop on tomorrow night. We've got a little slot, and don't forget as well. We want to hear from all of you out there. So as we've said throughout the show, any walk of life to do with the industry, whether on stage, behind it, sort of in the wings, behind the scenery, making the magic happen. We want to hear from you. So drop us a message and let us know.
It's been a pleasure, Ruthie, seeing you once again in Social Media Corner. We'll join you tomorrow evening, but for now we're going to say good night. Good night, Ruthie.
Good night.
Bye. So there we go. There's Ruthie. She'll be joining us tomorrow evening. Don't forget, we're back at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. We've got some fabulous guests tomorrow. I'm excited about this. We do need another one, as we said. And so join us if you want to come and chat about what you do. If you want to do some advertising as well, then please feel free to contact us. Contact Ruth or myself through social media or however. Send us your video and we'll get your advert on here. We're not looking for cash or anything like that. We're doing this for the fun of it. Yes, indeed. Who'd have thought such a thing? The community spirit and keeping the love alive for us all. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, wherever you've been, wherever you are in the world right now, whether you be in Abu Dhabi, Wales, or Milton Keynes, I don't know, wherever you are. Thank you very much. Don't forget, join us tomorrow evening at 6. Share this with your friends. Spread the love. Let's get more people watching this. The more people that watch it, the more we can do it and the more we can get the word out there. It's good to chat. But from all of us, a very good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.